Okay, so today, soft, we are getting to the holidays, and don't think that we don't have sacrifices here, but much less, and we will not talk a lot about the sacrifices. We will talk about different issues in this chapter because the sacrifices we quite. It's quite repetitive. Now, okay, maybe Gershom, would you like to read the introduction? Just a short introduction.
Okay, hang on a second. Okay, chapter 23 enumerates the holy days, which are Mikhae Kodesh, holy convocations, in their chronological order, beginning in the first month, which is the month of Nisan, and lists their dates and practices. Sabbath is at the head of all festivals, verse 3, after which 6 more holidays are listed in order in the calendar. Pesach and Matzah, Bikurim, Zichron Teruah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret.
Yes, this is from Olam HaTanakh. This is the source. Okay, so this is what the chapter about. And while we are reading the first section, just keep notice the Shabbat and try to think.
Please mute everyone.
Yes, Toda, Gershom, as usual. I forget, please.
You have the power.
Mute yourself, Ine. Yes. Okay. Gershom, סליחה, גם כן. And Katrina. Okay. So just notice and try to think why is the Shabbat mentioned there? Okay, Lynn, would you like to read the first section? It's from 1 to 8.
Okay. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, The appointed seasons of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my appointed seasons. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day is a Shabbat of solemn rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of work. It is a Shabbat unto the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the appointed seasons of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their appointed season. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at dusk, is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work. And ye shall make an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. In the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work.
Toda. Yes. So the first section, of course, is about Shabbat and Pesach, right? Now, there is a special term. Now, we read only 8 verses, and there is one term that repeats itself many times. And probably, Lynn, you read it, so you maybe noticed it. What was it?
Yes, holy convocations.
And in Hebrew, Mikra Kodesh. You know, it is from the Kiddush. I mean, the Kiddush is from here. It's not that this is from the Kiddush. ששת ימים תעשה מלאכה, סליחה, אלה מועדי אדוני מקראי קודש, verse 4, אשר תקראו אותם במועדם. I can still hear my father sing it in the Kiddush. And so it is, can you count how many times? I think I counted about 6 or 7 times only in this section, Mikra Kodesh. Right?
I counted 5, just a minute, but I might be
Okay,
wrong.
maybe 5. Yeah, maybe 5, but quite a lot. And in as we know, in the Bible, if the word repeats itself so many times, it is meaningful, very meaningful. So what is exactly, and I don't know the word in English, convocations, but in Hebrew, it's also a special word, Mikra Kodesh. Mikra Kodesh, it's not a regular word that we are saying in everyday life. So let's see what is this Mikra Kodesh. Let's try to understand. Okay, let's read what Rashi says about this Mikra Kodesh. Ginny, would you like to read this section?
It's good because the word mikra really bothered me. I don't know what it means. So this would be good for me to learn maybe. Okay, so, so holy convocations. Rashi, mikra, is about reading and proclamation. And the practical meaning, one should read and declare that the day is sacred. Okay, that's good. Calling and speech, kiddush. There is no obligation from the Torah to do a kiddush on wine specifically, but an obligation from the Torah to do kiddush in things, that is, to call and declare in things that today, Shabbat or holiday, is sacred to God.
Yeah, maybe, okay, sorry. Yes,
okay,
please.
go on. Okay, calling indeed, food and clothing, according to Rashi. When a person eats a festive meal and wears...
Ginny, you are, I don't know why, but you are muted. All of a sudden,
I'm sorry, someone just called me.
So just start again from here.
Apologize. I had to turn them off. Okay, so calling, let me go back. Calling indeed food and clothing, according to Rashi. When a person eats a festive meal and wears festive clothes in honor of Shabbat holiday, he declares that the day is sacred and different from other days. Okay.
Yes. So Mikra is first of all, Mikra is actually the Bible, not only the Bible, but if we say Bible studies, in Hebrew it's Mikra. But Mikra is from the root kara, to read, okay? But when I say I read, it's not that I hold a book or something and read just like this, but I can read out loud. This is exactly b'kol. This is as exactly in English. Then to read out loud. Now, so Mikra is as we understand is to read and proclaim, to declare something. I mean, we read, but we are not reading we don't read in silence. Okay? We say it out loud. Okay? We read something.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, finish and I have a question, please.
And then Kodesh is to make this something that we read holy. Okay? Now so the holy Shabbat and the holy days, okay, are called Mikra Kodesh. Why? Because actually Mikra is to not only to gather people together. For example, I call you, come, everyone, and I have something to tell you, and then to declare, to announce something, and this something must be holy. This is what it means Mikra Kodesh, because it's not only for example, if I read by my own on my own at home, I'm all alone, and I read out loud. It's not it's not the point. The point is to read out loud to people around me, to crowd. Okay.
You might want to use the English word proclaim.
To proclaim. Okay. To proclaim.
Okay, but I also think of likro, or to, I thought it means to call, just to yell or to call out loud, but it's so the convocation, the word convocation doesn't make any sense to me, really. Then.
Well, convocation, you tell me, what is convocation in English exactly? Because I didn't know this word. And
it's like a meeting. It's a meeting or a gathering, like a gathering of people.
Well, that's okay. For example, I mean, it's not likro. It's also, I think in English we can say to cry something. It's not to cry with tears, but to
cry out. Yes.
It's like
shout,
to shout, but not exactly shout. Something like that. So
something, close
in
enough.
In the old days, there was a job called the town crier. He would stand in the square in the middle, and he would call out the news of the day and stuff like that. So
exactly. Okay.
9 o'clock and all is well. Town crier walking through the streets to announce the time.
Okay. So you understand what is it? And what you say about likro, you were right, Ginny. I mean, likro is also to read a book, but also to what we just said, to call out loud or to cry out, something like that. Okay? So Mikrat Kodesh is to gather people and to read them something that is holy, and then to that thing, I mean, and this, why the holidays are called Mikrat Kodesh, because in the old days they didn't have calendars and watches and all that. They had to have someone who gathered them and said, today is Rosh Hashanah. Today is, well, Rosh Hashanah it's a different thing, but it's a bit problematic. But today is Pesach. Today is Shavuot. Today is Bikurim, okay? Or next week we will have this and this. This is Mikra Kodesh. This is why it's Mikra Kodesh. Now, this word is indicated in the Torah first time in Shemot. Wendy, can you read few sections here in Shemot and then in Numbers?
And in the first day there shall be to you a holy convocation, and in the seventh day a holy convocation. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done by you. In the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no manner of servile work. And on the seventh day you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no manner of servile work. Bring no more vain oblations. It is an offering of abomination until me, new moon and Shabbat, the holding of convocations. I cannot endure iniquity along with the solemn assembly.
Okay, now, thank you. Now, pay attention that in Shemot and in Numbers, we have the whole term, holy convocation or Mikra Kodesh. And in Yeshayahu, I brought it, although we don't have the full term. What word is missing here? What word is missing? The word holy.
Holy.
Right? There is, but although he talks about the new moon, Rosh Chodesh and Shabbat, and the holding of convocations. Now, why in Yeshayahu he doesn't mention the word holy? Because we will not get into it, but the whole chapter here, the whole section here, look at what he says. Bring no more vain oblations. It is an offering. Yeshayahu is one of the prophets that always told the people, we don't need your sacrifices. We need you to be people, good people and moral people. So you can't, because of the content of this paragraph, we can't say it is holy. It is the connection is bad, okay? But we will not get into it, just a small thing that why it is the word holy is not there. So Wendy, can you continue here? Just
hang on. I unmuted myself. Oh, that's it.
I don't
Okay. From where? From
here.
a holy convocation is a gathering for a sacred person. In other words, Mikra Kodesh is in fact the fulfillment of the idea of a holy Gentile, a group that gathers for a holy purpose. Rabbi
Okay.
Yitzhak Ad Shalom.
Yeah, you can accept or not accept this definition, but what I wanted to emphasize is the a gathering for a sacred purpose. This is the holy event, and something that is I found it interesting. Maybe we will not read it all, but Crystal, would you like to read here? And I will tell you afterwards in Nehemiah.
Okay, the Holy Convocation can mean also reading a sacred text in front of the crowd, as in Nehemiah 8.
Okay, so just read this one.
Okay, all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the broad place that was before the water gate. And they spoke unto Ezra the scribe to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel. And Ezra the priest brought the,
Yeah, you can continue. It's an interesting section.
and Ezra the priest brought the law before the congregation, both men and women, and all that could hear with understanding upon the first day of the 7th month. And he read therein before the broad place that was before the water gate from early morning until midday, in the presence of the men and women and of those that could understand. And the ears of all the people were attentive unto the book of the law.
Thank you, thank you. Maybe another verse here. We will not read it all. Just I want to see if there is the Mikra. Okay, maybe just verse 8. That
Okay, and they read in the book, in the law of God distinctly, and they gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
Okay, thank you very much. So now that we understand what is the Mikra Kodesh, just a minute. Okay, so something that we can learn from this section about what is to be done, or what is the features, what are the features of this Mikra Kodesh, of a day that is Mikra Kodesh. There is something that if you can look again in this section, try to see what is the characteristic maybe of this day, those days.
No work.
Yeah.
No work. A feast, a holy
Exactly.
eating together.
Yes, exactly. And look at 7. Mikra, I will read in Hebrew. ביום הראשון מקרא קודש יהיה לכם, כל מלאכת עבודה לא תעשו. Shall do no manner of servile work. This repeats itself also. For example, of course, in Shabbat. Right? In the Shabbat, Mikra Kodesh, Kol Melacha Lo Ta'asu, as we know about the Shabbat. Okay? So now let's go back to the question, why the Shabbat is here? What do you think? And of course, and we know that
Shabbat seems to be the most important day of everything. It's repeated again and again. And of course, you're not supposed to do any manner of work. And rest and study and praise the Lord, but it seems to be, it always comes up as the first and most important of the, I know mitzvot, but Shabbat and keep it holy, even in the commandments, in the 10 Commandments, it's the same.
Yes. It's like a holy time that repeats itself every 7 days, every week. A holy, Rabbi Jonathan Zacks, Zichro Livracha, said we have holy places and we have temples in time. Temples in on the ground and temples in time. And the Shabbat is a temple, a holy temple in time. So yes, the Shabbat is the most important, and also because it is, the Shabbat is maybe we will read it later about the Chazal said that it is the day that the world was created, and we will get to the subject why Rosh Hashanah we do Rosh Hashanah in September in Tishrei, okay, and not in the sun, but the Shabbat is there also to warn us from what? If a holiday, I mean a Chag, that it is allowed to, we are allowed to cook or to prepare food. If it falls on Shabbat, it is the Shabbat. The Shabbat is determines the importance here. Okay, we are not allowed to cook if it is Shabbat in any Seder.
Can I go back here to the holy convocations? I mean, does this mean the obligation to study and pray on Shabbat and the holy days? Because I don't see here where it says specifically that on Shabbat and the holidays we need to meet and pray. Or is that part of the convocation?
No, it's an interesting question because it is not mentioned. No, here what is mentioned only is what not to do, and
not what to do,
and not what to do on Shabbat. Yes.
Well, we're told we can eat, but apart and to dress in.
Yeah, but we it is. I think the sages determine it later. It is. We have to eat all the family together. We have to dress ourselves nicer. We have to make it holy also by our behavior, not only not to do anything, but you are right. It's not. It doesn't say here we have to study or we have to, because I think it's not the point of this chapter. By the way, the point of this chapter is look at number 4. אלה מועדי אדוני מקראי קודש אשר תראו אותם במועדם, in their appointed season, in their time, their specific time. And here is my list of holidays that I want you to do this and this. Okay, so
it's also because that's not the way celebrations happened then. During the time of the temple, when there were sacrifices, that was the form of devotion, I guess you could say, and to God. But the prayers, doing a prayer service, was something that started when we no longer had the temple and couldn't perform the sacrifices.
Correct.
So the replacement for the sacrifices, because we could not do that anymore.
Yeah, to use words instead of animals. Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay. So here it's specified. I don't think we will go into details because you all know it. I think we know this detail. And actually in Shemot, in Exodus, it is more detailed, exactly what to eat and all that. Here we have this offering. In Hebrew, it's a special word. It is called Ishe Adonai, from the word fire, Esh. Okay, but, okay, anyway, let's go on. Let's see where. Okay. Adina, would you like to read? I think you didn't read that. It's from 9 to 22. You have a long section.
9 to 22. Okay. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, when you enter the land which I am giving to you, and you reap its harvest, you shall bring the first sheaf of your harvest to the priest. He shall wave the sheaf before the Lord for acceptance in your behalf. The priest shall wave it on the day after the Sabbath. On the day that you wave the sheaf, you shall offer as a burnt offering to the Lord a lamb of the first year without blemish. The meal offering with it shall be 2/10 of a measure of choice flour with oil mixed in, an offering by fire of pleasing odor to the Lord. And the libation with it shall be of wine, 1/4 of a hin. Until that very day, until you have brought the offering of your God, you shall eat no bread or parched grain or fresh ears. It is a law for all time throughout the ages in all your settlements. And from the day on which you bring the sheaf of wave offering, the day after the Sabbath, you shall count off 7 weeks. They must be complete. You must count until the day after the 7th week, 50 days. Then you shall bring an offering of new grain to the Lord. You shall bring from your settlements 2 loaves of bread as a wave offering. Each shall be made of 2/10 of a measure of choice flour, baked after leavening, as first fruits to the Lord. With the bread you shall present as burnt offerings to the Lord 7 yearling lambs without blemish, 1 bull of the herd, and 2 rams with their meal offerings and libations, an offering by fire of pleasing odor to the Lord. You shall also offer 1 he-goat as a sin offering and 2 yearling lambs as a sacrifice of well-being. The priest shall wave these, the 2 lambs together, with the bread of the first fruits as a wave offering before the Lord. They shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. On that same day you shall hold a celebration. It shall be a sacred occasion for you. You shall not work at your occupation. This is a law for all time in all your settlements throughout the ages. In this translation, instead of saying a holy convocation, it always says sacred occasion. Oh, sorry, I stopped you. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap all the way to the edges of your field or gather the gleanings of your harvest. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I, the Lord, am your God.
Thank you. We found another spot to put his social to put again his social law, because we already read about it, but this is about harvest, so let's say it again. Anyway, well, this is about what holiday we have here?
This is it's counting the Omer and up until Shavuot.
Yeah, exactly. It's Sfirat HaOmer until the counting, and yeah, we have here 7 Shabbat. Here the translation says 7 weeks. Well, it is Sheva Shabbatot.
Yeah.
And then we have the number 50, but it is not 50, it's 49. I mean, it is just a round number. That's what I read about it. Now, an Omer is this word I forgot. Aluma, a bunch of שכחתי את המילים, סליחה. קבוצה של שיבולים, ונדי או לין, איך אומרים? או ג'יני, או שיבולים.
Is that a sheaf of grain?
Yes, sheaves.
Sheaves, יופי, תודה. אוקיי, so this is, yeah, okay. So this is the Omer, and there are also a lot of sacrifices here. Now look at number 14. Okay, and you shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor fresh until the self-same day, until you have brought the offering on of your God. What does it talk about here?
That you don't eat from the new crop until after you've brought the offering.
I can't understand very well. It's like, can you repeat it yourself?
That you don't eat from the new crops until after you brought the offering.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And this sort of food, the bread and the kali and neither bread or parched corn and fish. What I found here is a bread is a bread, okay, a baked dough, and a kali are like seasons, like גרעיני חיטה. It's not only corn. It's all kind of דגנים. Grains, yes, grains. It's all kind of grains and the other, well, one is cooked or baked, and the other is fresh. Okay, this is what it means. And yes, correct. You have to wait until you bring it to God, and not to eat it before that. Why is this law? Why? What do you think? I mean, I thought it to something about modesty, something to keep modest, to say thank you before we eat, like Thanksgiving or something like that. But
like gratitude.
What?
Gratitude.
Yeah. Gratitude, exactly. Okay. Just a moment. And another thing that is important to say here is this. Look what all these laws are connected to the land. These are laws when you are in the promised land. Okay, כי תבואו אל הארץ אשר אני נותן לכם. It's important because I think that Shavuot, everybody celebrate it all over Jewish people all over the world, no? What do you?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe because it is a nice holiday.
Well, most religions have a, excuse me, have a harvest festival that they celebrate the harvest.
Yeah, it's
and in a way, it's like the sacrifices, but much nicer because it's.
And
it's the same symbol, isn't it? That you're bringing the best and the first.
The best and the first, and the new. I think you know how in kibbutzim they celebrate Shavuot very nice. With all the new babies, all the new with little children on the
tractors, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Shavuot is a very nice holiday, and of course it is connected to agriculture, or most of the holidays are connected to agriculture. Here's the season of harvest. So another thing is just a minute. Now this Omer, this thing of wave the sheep is not called Mikra Kodesh. You see, there's no. You have to bring. I think there is no Mikra Kodesh here. Yeah. Only here. I think only. Hold on, just a minute. Yes, only the holiday of Shavuot, not the acting of waving the sheep, but the holiday of Shavuot is Mikra Kodesh. And afterwards, Chazal said that we got well, according to Mount Sinai event, is that if you count the Mount Sinai, Chazal said that the Mount Sinai was approximately in Shavuot. This is why we celebrate Matan Torah in Shavuot, also in Shavuot. Okay. Any other comments? You can move on. Okay, let's move on and look at this is the by the way, in chapter 25 we will have the whole chapter deals with a mitzvot that depend on the land of Israel. Okay, we will Kedushat haaretz, the holiness of the land. So we will read it when we get there. So this is an illustration of Tishrei. I don't know why it is Tishrei, apart from we have here a Sukkah. I found it from the collections of the National Library, but I thought it is nice, so I got it. So we will read about Tishrei, okay, about the Rosh Hashanah and all that. Who didn't read? Claire? Claire didn't read? Would you like to read? Claire?
Can. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall be a solemn rest unto you, a memorial proclaimed with the blast of horns, a holy convocation. He shall do no manner of servile work, and he shall bring an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Obeyed in the 10th day of this 7th month is the day of atonement. There shall be a holy convocation unto you, and he shall afflict your souls, and he shall bring an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And he shall do no manner of work in the same day, for it's a day of atonement, to make atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul is it be that shall not be afflicted in the same day, he shall be cut off from his people. And whatsoever soul it be that though any manner of work in the same day, that soul will I destroy from among his people. He shall do no manner of work. It is a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even shall ye keep your Shabbath.
So of course we got to the month of Tishrei, right? We were in Pesach, and then Shvirat HaOmer, and then Shavuot, and now we are getting to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur in this section. And later it will be Sukkot and Shmini Atzeret. But look at the Rosh Hashanah, how it is mentioned. I put in bold all the holidays. So there's no word about the Rosh Hashanah, the start of the year or the head of the year or something like that, the beginning of the year. It is not mentioned like this. It is mentioned quite in a strange way. A memorial, Zichron Torah Mikra Kodesh. Shabbaton, memorial proclaimed with the blast of horn, a holy convocation. It is if you didn't know that it is Rosh Hashanah, I'm not sure you could say that it is a holiday, right? I mean, the other holidays, excuse me, רק סליחה רגע.
Laura,
Yeah.
when did it change to be called Rosh Hashanah?
Okay, and this is one good question. And another question is look when it is supposed to be in the 7th month. When we count from Nisan, right? Nisan is Pesach. So the beginning of our year should have been in Pesach, not in Rosh Hashanah, or in April and not in September, in Nisan and not in Tishrei. So we have so you asked about the name, right? When it is called Rosh Hashanah. Okay. So this thing, it is the sages much later determined it, but we will get to it. Let's see. We have this Chodesh HaShvi'i, and then we know about Yom Kippur and the Day of Atonement. We will not get into it because we all know very well this. Just notice again, every time this term of Mikra Kodesh or holy convocation, yes, holy convocation, here with Mikra Kodesh here. In the old chapter, I counted, I think 11 times this term. So it is a lot. So why do we celebrate Rosh Hashanah in Tishrei and not in Nisan? Okay, let's read some sources. Who wants to read? Lynn, let's.
Yeah, I asked the question, so I'm happy to read the answer.
Okay.
Celebrating a holiday on the first day of the month of Tishrei is absent from most books of the Bible. The first time a festive event is mentioned that occurred on this date is in the book of Ezra, where it is told about reading the Torah on the first of Tishrei. The first to deal with this holiday and its meaning as Rosh Hashanah are the sages in the Mishnah and the Tosefta. They wrote their writings around the year of 200 AD, but it is possible that they documented earlier traditions.
Yeah, it's not exactly 200. It's the sages. We can consider them between 0 to 500. But the Mishnah was
what's the
Tosefta is another book of when after the Mishnah was sealed, they were some other portions or sections that didn't get into the Mishnah, but they are more material like the Mishnah. This is what, if I remember correctly, but the Tosefta is like a complete addition, yes, or ashlama or addition to the Mishnah, okay? So anyway, so the sages, and why I wanted to read about what we read in Nehemiah, because exactly here we see the actual reading of Ezra when he took the book and gathered everybody and read them in front of them.
Why? Why dafka? You know, using a wonderful Israeli term that you can't explain. Why dafka does it become Rosh Hashanah?
Why it is become, so רגע, so just a minute.
יש המשך.
כן, יש המשך. רגע, I wanted to say something about this. Okay. You didn't ask why did he have to read them the Torah, right? The Torah was not as we have today. Every house has 10 books of the Bible, and not everyone could read, and someone had to read them in order to teach them what to do.
5 books of the Bible. 10?
No, I mean copies. You don't have. They didn't have so many books, and first of all, it wasn't books. Of course, it was scrolls. There were scrolls, and he had to read them because he had to teach them. Like we talked about it as the part of the work of the Kohanim that had to teach the crowd what to do, just what to do and how to behave. Vaikra is full of laws where people have to learn them. Okay, so continue, please. If you started.
Okay, now I get the explanation. Okay, it seems that sometime during the 1st, 2nd centuries of the Christian era, the sages charged. Do you mean changed? Or
no.
Charged a new meaning.
Put a new meaning. Yeah.
Meaning, the sages invented, created. Gave new meaning. A new meaning with the mysterious holiday mentioned in the books of Leviticus and Numbers, and gave it the senior status we attribute to it today. They determined, so sages again, they determined that this is the anniversary of the creation of the world and the day on which human beings are judged for their actions in the past year and on which their fate is determined for the following year. Furthermore, perhaps the choice of Rosh Hashanah in the fall over the spring, Rosh Hashanah that was common throughout the area, for example, the Iranian Rosh Hashanah is still celebrated around March, was intended to differentiate it from the surrounding peoples. It is also possible that the destruction of the temple and the discontinuation with the ritual religious connection with agriculture aided this change in the calendar.
Okay.
But this is strange because from what was considered a minor day and the sages made it into a big day, we have a major holiday now. We do this blowing of the shofar. We have all sorts of rituals around Rosh Hashanah that are, as well as Yom Kippur, they're our major. We call them the Yomim HaNoraim. And yet there's nothing really in Leviticus to tell us that we should make such a big day of it.
Good point, Wendy.
Yeah.
You know how Yomim HaNoraim, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Chazal. Many things
Chazal again.
That we are doing today is from Chazal. Many things. I mean, all of the actually the ritual, the way what to do and how to do the holidays is from Chazal, and the Shomronim, the Shomronim, you know, in Grizim Mountain, they take the Bible and read and do exactly what it says there. This is what they say that the Karaim, sorry, the Karaim. Because this is why they are called Karaim. We said in Kodesh, the Karaim said, no, we don't want Torah by heart, Torah shebe'al peh. We want Torah shebichtav. Torah shebichtav, it says this and this. We do this and this. We will not do other things. But we are not Karaim. And look, I mean, many things the Chazal said that they did good changes, because, for example, in the Torah, it says about the son that doesn't obey his parents, ben sorer umoreh. But not only doesn't obey, maybe behave rudely or answer them not in a polite way and all that. So you know what we should do according to the Torah. What he should be stoned to death. So Chazal found a way to skip in
Go round.
to go around, yeah, or
Find a loophole.
or Isha, found all kind of loop, but or Isha Sota that should be. It's like the witch in the Middle Ages. If she drinks the water, the dirty water, and she's dead, it means that she was to blame. If she's not dead, something like that. Something.
I can't.
Chazal made new laws, but also they determined many things that we are doing.
I can't believe I am. Sorry, I'm just astounded. Maybe I knew this before, and you're just bringing it back. That it's like man-made. I mean, Rosh Hashanah is man-made. It's not.
Yes.
It was
No.
not written that this would be Rosh Hashanah.
According to
As
the
Wendy says.
yeah. According to the
Totally artificial.
yeah.
But there's a lot of things that were not written in the Bible, and they're interpreted. A lot of the things that happen today
Yes.
are interpreted by men. They weren't the laws which God gave us.
Oh yeah, many
But
things.
it does say here that there's a holy convocation and the blowing of the shofar, loud
Yes.
blast.
Nachon.
That
You know what?
that is given us here in the shot. And big Rosh Hashanah, what I have heard from somewhere, I don't remember, was that Rosh Hashanah being the beginning of the year was more of like a fiscal year, business year.
Yeah, yes, you're right. It was according in there is one opinion that it was the financial year of the Babylon, of the Babel, and the financial. So, but let's read another way of to look to address this question, and maybe Adina, it's a bit connected to what you said. So please read please read here, and then this section.
Which one, although first of Tishrei is not indicated as Rosh Hashanah, there are hints in the Torah of a method that begins in the year in the month of that begins the year in the month of Tishrei. In the list of the three regalim, the date of the feast of harvest, Sukkot, Exodus 23:16, is mentioned as celebrated in the end of the year.
Okay, so because Sukkot is celebrated, the question here is why not why Rosh Hashanah it is such a big holiday today, as Wendy said, is why Rosh Hashanah is why we start to count the Hebraic year in Tishrei, while in the Bible it was the 7th month and not the first one. Why we don't have Rosh Hashanah in Pesach? Okay, so here Sukkot is mentioned to be to symbol the end of the year, because again it is an agricultural view. Can you continue, Adina? Here and here.
Yes, and the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou sowest in the field, and the feast of ingathering at the end of the year, when thou gatherest in thy labors out of the field.
Okay, and here again, the end of the year, okay, the Tzet Shana, it is Chag HaAsif, the Sukkot. And here something that about what you said about the Shofar. In Tehillim we have
And blow the horn in the month at the new moon for our feast day.
okay, the month at the new moon for our feast day. In Hebrew we have the word Keseh, when the moon is covered, so it's the new moon. Okay, let's sum up this section. Maybe let's see. Claire, would you like to read this?
So from all the sources about the first month, Nisan, and the 7th month, Tishri, one can learn about two methods for counting the years in Israel. One, agricultural, beginning in the early autumn, and the end of the harvest, Asif, and the other, ritual, beginning in Nisan, as a memorial to the Exodus. In fact, even the month of Nisan is an agricultural date, as it opens the harvest Katsir period. The beginning of these two seasons is convenient as an opening to the counting of the month of the year, also because they apply in the time domain of equality of the day and night.
Okay, so this is so actually I don't see a good answer to your question, Wendy, here. But yeah, it's the sages that we are all doing things according to the rabbinic way, and this started with the sages. All the idea of rabbinic and the halakha and all that. Something else about this, another reason that they had to read it out loud, to tell the people now in 1 week we will have we will do this this holiday, okay, is the fact that we count the year according to the moon and the Christian word according to the sun. And we have a difference between the counting, okay? According to the sun, we have, if I'm not mistaken, 365 days. And according to the moon, by Jewish and Islam word, we have 11 days less, 354. So we have, and this is why in Islam, they have sometimes the Ramadan, sometimes it is in July, sometimes it's in December, sometimes it's every year it moves. And how we, the Jewish people, how we solve this problem with the Shana Me'uberet. We have Adar Aleph, Adar Bet, and this every few years, and this is okay, it's like synchronized the year. Okay? Okay.
And also sometimes this month is 30 days, and sometimes this month is 29 days.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, continuing.
Okay. Yeah. let's read the rest of the chapter. And I think we are here, right? Yeah.
33.
Okay, Jeannie, would you like to read? Until the 33, until 44. You are muted. You are muted. Just unmute yourself.
Sorry, okay. And the Lord spoke unto the saying,
Something bad connection.
on the seventh month.
Well, you have some you have a bad connection.
No?
You can't hear you very well.
Okay, I don't know what to say.
Okay, now
I don't know what to do.
try again.
Try, okay. One more time? Okay.
Yeah.
And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying,
So, Jeannie, I think
on the 15th.
no, we
Okay,
can't
have
hear
someone
you.
else then.
Yeah, we
or
can't hear.
because
Okay,
Hazman.
Wendy, what's up?
And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, On the 15th day of the 7th month is the Feast of Tabernacles, for 7 days unto the Lord. On the first day shall be a holy convocation. You shall do no manner of servile work. 7 days you shall bring an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall bring an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a day of solemn assembly. You shall do no manner of servile work. These are the appointed seasons of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to bring an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meal offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, each on its own day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which you give unto the Lord. Howbeit on the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruits of the land, you shall keep the feast of the Lord. 7 days on the first day shall be a solemn rest. And on the 8th day shall be a solemn rest. And you shall take you on the first day the fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. And you shall keep it a feast until the Lord, 7 days in the year. It is a statute forever in your generations. You shall keep it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are homeborn in Israel shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the appointed seasons of the Lord.
So we just did it in a month and a half ago. Here's for Arbaat Aminim. You see? Pri Etz Hadar. It's very nice, I think. Pri Etz Hadar, Kapot Marim, Va'anach Etz Avot, Va'arve Nafal. Okay. Now look at the last verse. Until now, it was what God said to Moses to tell the people. And now, Vaydaber Moshe, Moses is going to tell all of it to the people. Actually, another small comment here. Yeah, it is you can see that it is some summarize of all what we read until now. Here in 37. Okay. the שלושה רגלים, I really don't know how to say it in English, the word רגלים, you know, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, the Lynn at the mute. At the mute.
Oh, I'm just trying to think of the right phrase.
Okay.
Actually,
you know,
I think it's pilgrimage. I think
Mother?
it's pilgrimage.
נכון.
Pilgrimage.
Okay. The Chagim that we allegedly we have to go to Jerusalem and all that. So only these Chagim, it's Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, are called Chag in the Bible. The word Chag is there, and the other are called Mikra Kodesh and all kind of, or Shabbaton and all kind. And another new word that we have here is Atzeret in Hebrew, and in English it is a day of solemn assembly. Yes, solemn assembly, yes, maybe Atzeret is also a gathering, a kinus, gathering, and so another way, and because of that we call Sukkot, we call it Yom Shmini Atzeret. Yeah, I think we will, yes. If you have any comments, I think I quite.
It
Okay, I have a
suggested to me a question,
Yes.
like when I was reading this, and also somewhat when we were reading about Shavuot, about whether people in Hul need to celebrate Sukkot.
Whether people in Hul need to celebrate Sukkot or Shavuot?
Either, but especially when I was reading this before, and it says that people, what does it say? It says
Yeah, well,
something about when people are born in Israel. And this translation says, you shall live in booths 7 days. All citizens in Israel shall live in booths. And in the Hertz translation, it says something about people born homeborn or something like that in Israel, which to me suggested the question of whether this is meant to be, and because the holidays are connected to the land, whether these holidays are meant to be celebrated in the land, but not in
abroad. But I'm not. It's not all of them are mentioned. Are connected to the land. We saw only Shavuot
and Sukkot.
Why?
Because these are.
Did you see here? Because in 39 in Sukkot.
Yeah, and well, also for Shavuot, or for counting the Omer, it says when you have come into the land and you have your first harvest in the land,
Yes,
and land connected. And just a thought that never occurred to me before, because we always, when we were in the old country, we celebrated Sukkot.
You always build the sukkah when you are good. But
right.
So what you're saying is that this verse,
it just suggested the question to me.
This verse, דבר בני ישראל ואמרת להם כי תבואו אל הארץ, this verse is not only for regarding Shavuot, but also all of the holidays that come after. This is what you're saying.
Well, it did not say that to Pesach, because we know Pesach it's celebrating something that happens not in the land. But Shavuot is something that happens in the land once we came into the land, and Sukkot also something that happens once we're in the land, and it's just was a thought that never occurred to me before
Yeah.
about whether these are holidays, Sukkot and Shavuot, that are because they're connected to the land. Are they specific to be celebrated in the land?
Adina?
That's not required if you're not here.
But the question would have to arise then, and I'm not proposing an answer of who wrote this.
I'm not proposing an answer either. It's just suggesting.
No, but wait. But the question would be when it was written. Was there a concept of children of Israel being outside the land at the time that this was written? That may not have existed.
Probably not.
Can you say it again?
Would the concept, would there, depending on when this was written, would there have been any children of Israel outside the land to even think about that as, going into how you write this?
So actually you're asking, well, the Torah, we know that it was written, let's say from the 7th, 8th century BCE until many centuries, even.
Yeah, but when was this part written? And when was something like the Babylonian exile?
If it was during the Galut in Babel, the exit to the Babel. So you're saying, you know what? I don't know. And also, Adina, about your question, let's see. First of all, we will read it in 25, the mitzvot that's connected to the land, chapter 25. But about Sukkot and specifically to Sukkot, I will try to find out. I didn't understand that it is Sukkot, it is connected to the land because it is not written here in this section about Sukkot, but maybe it is written once, and regard to the whole thing that come after.
Well, it was just that sentence about you shall live in booths 7 days. All citizens in Israel shall live in booths, in order that future generations may know that I made the Israelite people live in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. So it was just that, all citizens in Israel. Now, you could interpret that as citizens up in the land, in the Kehilat Yisrael, or you could, if you interpret it as Am Yisrael, then that would be everybody wherever we are. And if you interpret it as Medinat Yisrael, then it's specific to the land.
Or the Eretz Israel, yes.
Eretz Yisrael as opposed to Am Yisrael.
I understand, Yeah,
there are examples like Shemitah and Yovel are specific to the land.
Exactly. Yeah.
And those things are not observed if you are not Ba'aret.
Right. This exactly is detailed in 25. And I thought Sukkot is not only in Israel. I mean, also Jewish abroad to celebrate, because the Sukkot, if it is to memorial the booth that Israel were dwelled during the desert time, so it is abroad Israel. It's like Pesach. Pesach was celebrated when they lived left Egypt.
Well, it's also in Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim.
Okay.
It was just a question that popped into my head. And
Yeah,
I'm just a
no,
troublemaker,
it's
so-
a very good question, and also what Gershom said, and I will try to look. And if you read something of that, so bring it up, and we will discuss it next time. Okay, so Shabbat Shalom. Toda rabba.
But,
Okay, תודה רבה לכם.
Lynn? Lynn?
so
Have you, when you finished recording, when you turn the recording off,
Yeah.
I have a question I want to ask you.
Oh, you know what? I think the